There was panic in paradise today. An accidental alert went out across Hawaii, urging people to take shelter due to an incoming ballistic missile. The false alarm was eventually called off, but not before Hawaiians and tourists started scrambling, even saying their goodbyes. Carter Evans has the latest details.
The emergency alert caused pandemonium when it went out to cell phones this morning across the islands, and it did not mince words. Ballistic missile threat inbound to Hawaii, it said. Seek immediate shelter. This is not a drill. The false alert also went out on local TV.
The U.S. Pacific Command has detected a missile threat to Hawaii
and prompted evacuation announcements.
Please report to the lobby to receive direction to the basement.
Desperate parents put their children into manholes. Terrified families huddled in closets. Others shared what they thought could be their final goodbyes.
And I just wanted to know that I love you guys.
We thought this was it.
Laurie Callies and her family ran to their basement for cover.
My 95-year-old mother, who we were not going to say anything to until we had all the information, who lives in a retirement community here, called us on the phone and she said, I can't get on the floor. I can't get on the floor. And she survived Pearl Harbor.
Oh, that terror soon turned to anger.
I said, heads better roll on this one.
So there we go. The end of the world. Hawaii gets a missile threat, a false alarm, scares the hell out of everybody. First, before we get any further, let's address what we've heard there. Who's putting your kids into a sewer?
Maybe they were on the street.
What?
They say take immediate shelter. They can't
So they're but they're dropping their kids into a little sewer. So what? They get irradiated and the kids live in what, Lord of the Flies? Oh, this is stupid. You kidding me?
Maybe they didn't like the kids.
That I would understand. But then you'd get in the sewer yourself and keep them above.
Well, first I can understand the reactions on here. You were saying, oh, whatever, oh, that's ridiculous. But when it was playing, but I can understand that absolutely. I mean, talk about timing when all the rhetoric coming out of North Korea and things like that. I mean, that would be scary.
I don't know. I just didn't buy it. I was on Twitter when it came out, and I just didn't buy it. I actually thought that the message seemed odd. Why would the government be telling me a ballistic missile is coming? Like specific.
What do you mean?
Like why do I need to know a ballistic missile is coming?
What kind of a missile it is?
Right, like one that's coming. I assume that means it's coming. It's armed with something, and it's coming through the atmosphere at me. Like why do I?
Made by Raytheon.
Why do I need to know that? Yeah. Like, I mean, it just seems like wording seemed odd, but it was the real states thing. And this part about we almost decided not to tell my mother. It's like Jesus. Thanks, she would have loved that. I guarantee you the TV at the old folks' home is on.
Yeah,
but that would suck if you did survive Pearl Harbor and then you got to deal with again.
I know exactly. Jesus. Oh yeah, about another threat like that. I totally understand the reactions and would probably imagine that it would be the same anywhere. I mean, it's quite a serious thing, especially in the climate right now. But what I do think is just on. I don't want to put I don't make fun of this in any way. However, what I thought of immediately would be a good show is to talk about the things that were said and done in the 39 minutes that they thought they were going to die. So I thought of a few. I don't know if you had any in mind to think about, but things that they probably regretted when it was an accident.
Right. So here's the whole thing: is that you think it's the end of the world, and you don't know how long you have. I mean, I assume that after 15 minutes, you assume you're living on borrowed time. But okay, so first thing is that we'll keep aside anything that might be horribly, horrifically illegal.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm talking about telling your boss off. Also, maybe saying that you've cheated on someone. That you, or you're going to say that you've always been attracted to your sister or something like that,
Sure. In those, any of those situations, like right out of that the movie where the plane's going to crash and the guy comes out as gay or whatever, it's the thing.
Would that be the last episode of Seinfeld?
No.
Oh, no.
Although they may have done it on that too, actually. Yeah. But it's the movie with the groupies, the rock and roll movie with Penny Lane and
Almost Famous.
Yes, Almost Famous. Right. So they have a scene like that, which had been used before. Maybe it was used in Seinfeld.
Seinfeld as well, yeah.
But, I mean, you've got to think. But so other than the things like the things that you'd want to do, like make out with a neighbor's wife or something like that, Like, what would you really do with that time? It's your time. Let's say it's like...
Wait, let me just go back for a second. Do you want to make out with your neighbor's wife?
Yes.
'Cause I happen to know who that is.
Yeah. Well, I have a lot of neighbors.
Oh, that's true, I guess. But
So, like, what would you want to spend that time, who wants to be spending the time hugging kids and saying, I love you? It's not just, it's stupid at that time. If you're going to be irradiated, especially like, if it's in Boston, we're in the blast zone. It's probably, we're all done.
yeah. But no, I would. I imagine if I had the opportunity, I would hug my family to the end.
Really? That's
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
And go like...
What do you want to do? Go for a Sunday drive, look at houses in Winchester?
Yeah. I definitely want to do something like that. Look at houses or go... Like, I mean, I don't know if you're at a museum, if you could touch an exhibit because it's too late. But I mean, would rather do something worthwhile. My wife is very religious, so that she probably would do something religious. So actually, that would be perfect for me because she'd take the kids probably to the church. Mm-hmm. A lot of them probably would, which would make me a free man.
Oh, you mean to go out?
Yeah, to go out. I mean, there's no doubt. You would jump behind a bar.
I would say grab a bottle at least. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I would give you, and I'd probably try to include you in some of the stuff. You're not hugging your kids the whole time. That is lame ass, and especially 5 minutes into it. I get it. You love them, okay? Time to move.
Tough to tear myself away. What excuse?
Really?
Yeah. Maybe I don't tell them what's happening.
Yeah. No. I don't think that you've got to enjoy those last few minutes. You've really got to. The only thing is, though, that we're already married. We already have kids. We've decided that this is rated PG. I mean, in an ideal world, if I could conjure something up, then Kate Upton
I see.
happens to get out of an Uber, runs over to me, and says that she wants to make love. Then, of course, I think I probably could. I probably have implicit permission to do that. If it's the last.
I don't know. Congratulations, that happens to you. It would be an incredible coincidence for her to do that and to want to do that.
So now I'm going to say something that makes myself mad. First of all, is there anything else that you wanted to add to anything else you'd want to do?
I don't think so. Go ahead.
So here's the thing. How much, and this is making myself angry, but I'm going to say it. How much should you live? This is very life coachy.
Oh, yeah.
Every day as if it's your last. To what extent?
Yeah, no, that's a good...
To what extent do you or don't you?
I don't think we've had... I think we know where our answer lies, just given the experience that we've had over the past 20 years or so. Mm-hmm. We tend to go more towards the live your day every day to its fullest, as opposed to,
Yes, but not, like, in what way? In organizing our lives?
Yeah. Yeah,
really?
No, in terms of saving money and maybe not going out as often and et cetera, et cetera.
How is that living your day till its fullest?
Well, we're not sort of saving as a lot of people do. They sort of save and save and save for when they retire. I don't think that that's our strong point.
I see.
We sort of play in the moment and do things. We don't say no to a lot of things that we want to do, I guess. Would that be correct in your end as well? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'd rather.
Okay.
I
see. Yeah. So there's two ways to look at it.
Yeah.
It's the last day of your life. I want to be the best me I can be, versus there's the last day of your life. I want to have the most fun I can have.
Oh well, certainly. But you were talking about how do you live your life now when there's no threat? Do you live your life to its fullest, even though there is no threat? Or are you conservative and put in stockpile your money and your time and your whatever it is, on a daily basis, a little at a time? We tend to. I think I tend to live my life more full every day, I guess, if you will. Is that what you were going to, or am I going in the wrong way?
Although no, that's interesting though, because a life coach would say that you'd want to have the fullest possible day and be the best you.
Right.
The nicest, the most networking, the most friendly, the most constructive.
Sure.
The most fulfilling in every single way. But you would rather so this is the problem probably, is that it's 1999 New Year's Eve rather than being productive and responsible.
Correct.
So are there parts of that you would get better at?
Hopefully.
Like
well,
what?
no, I mean it's like they say, everything in moderation. But sometimes I have a hard time with that. Excess is fun,
Right.
and so like I said, some people tend to save for tomorrow. I tend to spend for today.
Okay.
Yeah, if that makes sense in many ways. Not just so.
Do you feel you have the best job that you could have, or do you think you could get if you prioritized a better one? Out of your potential, out of 10, where do you think you are now career-wise?
Probably 7, I would say. I know I can do better. I know that I could do something for myself if I put my mind to it and really be successful. If I took the time and the energy to do that and focused on that, I think I could do something really really great for myself and for my family, I think.
And do you think that that living as if the missile is coming is depleting from steps that you could take to do that?
That's great. I just want to have fun all the time, and
yes,
and that's, here's something to think about too is, how you hear every couple of months you'll hear that a meteor is going to fly by us within 180,000 miles or whatever in 3 days.
Yeah.
That's the 3 days is probably the maximum amount of time that we're going to find out that we're going to someday in the future, whatever, that we are going to perish on this earth. So that could happen at any day now, like they could discover a meteor coming.
Interesting.
No, it's
so
true.
This is interesting, Jay, how people use this information, because a lot of people would say that you should live each day to the fullest because you never know.
Yeah.
You're saying that you should live each day to its maximum fun capacity because you never know.
Yeah. But
every day that missile doesn't hit, that means that you've allocated energy
and
to
resources,
right, to something that is not, elevating your potential or your realized successes.
Meanwhile, running out of time. Correct.
Well, I mean, that is true ultimately, but also, so it's not getting. So, I mean, all this time where you could be bettering yourself and making it a 9 or 10 out of 10, but imagine it's possible to be a 10 out of 10 career-wise.
Sure.
So it's fine with you that you're
I try daily to try to work on that. I think that I should.
Do you?
Yeah, no, I mean, I do. Or at least I think about it.
Yeah, same here. I think about trying daily to do it.
I know, because I think that I could. It's off balance right now. It should be. I should be paying attention to both. Everything in moderation, as they say. And I know it's true.
Yeah, they do say that.
I know,
don't they?
and that's I know.
Jesus.
You wanted to use an expletive there?
Everything in moderation.
I know.
Yeah. So, yeah, they say it.
Yeah.
We don't say it.
No, unfortunately not. But then that's part of trying to improve ourselves right as we go. So, yeah.
All right. We're at Twitter at I Shoulda Did More Reading. On Instagram, welcome to I Shoulda Did More Reading. This is episode 8, is it?
I'm sorry.
9? I'm not even sure. It's been so goddamn long. But it's nobody's fault. My company Jay's doing his thing at his business. My company is under Chapter 11, and so I've had to meet the highest bidder, which is this big media company, and then audition for them essentially. And then since 4 companies are bidding, this Thursday I'm meeting with the second one, auditioning for them.
Oh wow,
it's very interesting.
This is all public knowledge, yeah.
Yeah,
There's
I guess
2 companies bidding for that.
There's 4 now.
Oh, wow.
There were 2. So now all 4, I will have said different, lies to essentially,
embellished and whatever
in different ways. I got to keep track of that, and then we won't find out till a couple days before they're the owner.
When's the auction? Before the auction,
it's like a month.
Okay, so that's when we'll find out.
Then about a month from now we'll find out, but they'll be talking to us all the way up till a few days before.
Wow.
So we won't know.
That sucks.
So you can know who you've bombed with, and if they win, then you're gone.
Yeah. Oh, you never know. In any case, it's fun being in limbo, isn't it?
It is interesting just to be you have a front row seat to the whole thing is interesting. I mean, I think it'll go 2 ways. I think either I'll be summarily dismissed, or essentially told here, yeah, we'll bring you on for like $20K here. Well, take it or leave it, and I'll leave it.
Right.
Or they'll offer me something that's pretty good that I won't want. With all the things about my job that I don't like, and it'll allow me to do a whole lot of that.
Either way, I hope that you'll get taken out of the building a la Axel Foley and thrown on the ground in front.
Yeah, through the plate glass window.
Yes.
You arrest me for jaywalking? Yeah. No, I who knows? Who knows what'll happen as far as that stuff? I've already started bringing stuff home, some of my stuff and all my whatever. You always have to, like with any job, you always have to be prepared to clear the hell out.
Exactly,
right?
Exactly, yeah. No, that's why I don't have a lot of stuff on my desk. I mean, I've learned over the years that sometimes it's, you're just a number. It's nothing personal, and sometimes they just come in and say, sorry, dude, you're out of here. Most states are at will employment, so they can let you go for absolutely anything. So I have a ton of pictures and stuffed animals and crap like that. I never was a fan of that.
No, like the 18 family pictures?
Come on.
What the frig is that?
I don't understand that.
No. I don't get it. You got to be prepared to leave at any moment. Now, I do like stuff, so
I know you do.
I'll take stuff. I like it. Makes me
Chotskis.
I love Chotskis. I love it. Some of them are good. Some of them are useful.
Incorrect.
No, it's not true. I mean, but how many times do you need a beer bottle opener, a bottle opener? I've found that it's so. I've got those all over the place.
Yeah, you're right, and you always have one when I ask. So appreciate that.
On my keys, I have them. Then there's some others, breath mints, which I could use now, as you're probably experiencing.
It's okay.
But who cares at this point? Once you hit 40, who gives a flying frig about what am I not gonna get laid? Who cares?
Either way, you wouldn't.
Yeah, that's right. It doesn't matter. It didn't matter when I thought it mattered when I was 23. I never got within the realm of anything happening.
Svelte.
Facebook is. I should have did more reading at Facebook. I gotta. I do update Instagram. You should upgrade Facebook, Jay, for Christ's sakes. The website. Did that hurt you?
No.
Okay. The website is ishouldhavdidmorereading.com. The email is nobody cares, but if somebody wants to, ishouldhavdidmorereading@gmail.com.
Phil?
Yeah, Phil, for Christ's sakes, Phil, come on.
Just email us something.
We could talk, Phil, spam, anything. Anything, we'll open it and download it. Anything. Subscribe to us on iTunes and YouTube, in Google Play, whatever that is, Stitcher, and TuneIn. And I do have, you know what I did find, Jay?
What's that?
There's something that's making me happy, and it's on our Instagram for Should Have Did More Reading. And I found these two seagulls.
I saw that today.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah.
That's the third time I've seen them. The second time I've taken pictures. And one is like brindle, and one is the normal gull color, gray and white.
What's brindle?
Brindle's like Val the greyhound, like greyhound, like that color, that pattern.
Yeah.
And it's they're like best buddies.
Oh, yeah.
And they hang out.
Where is this?
Every day. This is in Southie, in
going over the bridge?
Summer Street. Yep.
Oh, cool.
These guys are awesome. These two guys, and sometimes I get close and they don't want any part, and so they just kind of swim away. But I like them.
Are you going to name them?
I don't know. They'll get killed or eaten, and
by you.
Yes.
After you name them.
God, I would kill for a beer.
I can go get one right now. I have a couple of Miller Lights in the fridge if you'd like.
Are you having one?
You be able to? I'll have one if you have one, but
let's have
fill
one.
in some time, huh?
I can fill.
All right, I'll be right back.
All right, Jay's gonna get me beer. I didn't intend on having a beer earlier today. I did as soon as I got out of work. I was thinking to myself, the idea was that I want to be in tip-top shape this week and just not do anything bad. But then tomorrow I've got a TV gig I'm doing at night, and so I can have a couple of beers now, and then. The next day I've got that interview, so I don't want to mess around before that, but I can certainly enjoy a beer. I'm not alone here, and I didn't have any beers or anything last night, and I just went to bed like a good guy. But there are times when it just feels so damn right to have a cold beer, and now is one of those times. I was, Jay, I almost asked you to get a couple of beers on the way here. It wasn't. Thank you very much.
No, I thought of it earlier too. I was like, I knew I had a couple of cold ones.
It's one of these nights, man. I mean, sometimes it doesn't hurt to have a cold beer.
Cheers.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Jay Wood. I'll let him talk in a moment, but he's also sucking wind because of the stairs. All right, I'm going.
We have 45 stairs. 30 just to get to the first floor of this place, and then another 15 or so to get up to the third floor where our studio is.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. We're going to have those removed. You should make so that the stairs are Whatever.
No, I'll get one of those slow, elderly, geriatric electronic seats that go up and down the stairs.
Yeah, I thought
So
about.
speaking of Phil, our dedicated listener,
Yeah.
I was hoping to get Phil on. You said we can do via Skype or something.
Yeah. Oh, well, I can't find my Skype password. My life is terrible right now.
Okay. Well, he calls me every time he listens to the show, and he comes up with these funny anecdotes and responses and insight on what we've done.
If he was on Skype, he could probably call us right now on Skype. Although I don't have my Skype password. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. So I'll get with him.
Tell him to get me on Facebook. Is he home yet?
Not yet. No, I don't think so. He's a UPS driver that works pretty much the whole day into the
Don't
night.
out him.
So I'll arrange that for hopefully the next time though. So
Yeah. So to be honest, thinking about it, I think probably we would, since we can't do anything illegal, and we're not going to make out with models. Probably we just drink beers.
And this is if you're talking about
The missile's coming.
or for asteroids and destroy Earth and all that. Yeah,
What's the most scared you've ever been?
boy, that's a good question. Let me think about that.
Okay, I will tell you. Let's see that person. I did get lost in the woods with a friend once.
I remember that story,
That wasn't the most scared, but it was a time where at a point we got lost so far deep into the woods, as far as we knew, that I started to lose despair and thought that nature around me was bigger than me, and that I was no longer really in control.
Jeez.
So a little bit of that. This is not like a really survivalist situation that happened. We were probably at 3/4 of a mile from a house, but we were just deep in the woods, and et cetera. So at some point, I started to think, the most scared I've been as an adult, I believe, was also in Vermont. And about 10 years ago or so, suddenly out of nowhere on the highway, the roads all iced up.
Oh, wow.
And there was nothing you could do but just slide and slide
Oh,
and
man.
slide for, like 300 yards down hills, and you go back and turn around. Like, but we had to get going where we were going, and people were off the roads everywhere. Cars were tipped over. And that was that scared the bleep out of me.
Once you realize it and you can't do anything but let your foot off the gas and pray.
Yeah, and just slowly spin and just be,
man.
okay, here we go.
Jeez.
It does put you certainly on edge.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. I have to say, there was one time my brother Phil and I were out in a sailboat in Salem Harbor, and we went out pretty far out, a few miles at least, and in a flash, fog all around us. And we didn't have our bearings. Well, we had our bearings, but it wasn't perfect. We were a little screwed then,
But you had them.
Yeah.
It's just nothing was where it was supposed to be.
Exactly.
Right.
So that was quite hairy, but we got through it. We followed our instincts, which is not a good thing sometimes when you don't know. And we eventually bumped into a boat, not literally, but and followed that in. So it was a pretty scary situation.
Nice.
Yeah, that was nuts. Getting stuck in New York City when I was a teenager, overnight in the Bronx, that was pretty rough.
Is this where you lost your car? Does people know this story? Is this
well,
now the statute of limitations? You still can't tell anybody? Jesus, you are a puss.
Oh, I'm not sure what you're talking about there, sir. No, I happened to get in an accident in New York City, in the Bronx.
You weren't in the mood to exchange papers? You just decided to get home?
Well, no, yeah, that's right. I was not in the mood to exchange papers, but it was 1:00 in the morning, and the truck was. I got in a bad accident underneath the bridge, and the truck was totaled.
Yeah.
So I hitchhiked from there to the Bronx, to the Manhattan College, as it were, without any shoes on.
Yeah.
And no money. And
you assume that was they just admit you like that.
That did not happen.
Yeah, no, you didn't.
But I did hitchhike in a car, and that was a pretty scary situation then. And just getting
How does one not have shoes on?
Yeah, it was. It's a little foggy. The whole.
Just like in the boat with Phil.
Exactly.
Foggy.
That's exactly right. It just came in an instant.
I bet you there was a common factor,
It
actually.
took me a day to get home, but I did get home eventually.
Yeah. So you were afraid? You were scared?
I was afraid because I turns out when I hitched a ride, I was in a big sort of pink Cadillac, and from a fine.
Was there a mannequin in the car?
From a fine gentleman from Harlem that gave me a ride to Manhattan College. But yeah, it was pretty scary.
Were there any unscheduled stops?
No, thankfully. Not that I want to speak about it anyway.
So I did get also. Here's another one for me. Is I got in a fight with a kid who threatened me. Was threatening me. I was in high school, and he thought I was dating his girlfriend, so he was like following. He was 27. I was 18, so he was following me around. I was 17, whatever. And he was saying, "Shattuck, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you." And he would call my house and leave messages on my answering machine.
Oh Jesus!
Saying, "Shattuck, I'm gonna effing kill you," and it was like really like butcher knife. I'm gonna kill you, the butcher knife. This is before that was in vogue, before OJ and all that stuff. And so
vogue.
It was just at that time. It was just me, my brother, and my father. So my father was like, "This was not a kind of household. This is a guy household." So my father was like, "Hey, some asshole keeps leaving messages on the phone. Anybody you know this guy?" Whatever. So whatever. So he kept leaving these messages, and I started to get really afraid. I never had a 27-year-old want to kill me before and talk about stabbing me. And his girlfriend said, "He's really violent. He's really violent." I was like, Jesus God. I was like, "Do you need to hang out with me all the time necessarily these days?" Because he thinks that we're. And she's like, "Oh, okay, I won't if you just go fine, whatever." So I just got I was afraid for like a week.
Wow.
And then Then we were driving around. I was in my dad's car with him, and I saw the kid drive and take a turn towards where I knew he lived. So there was like, oh my God, that was him. And I said, okay. And I asked my dad if I could borrow the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he said, yeah, okay. And so I drove the car over to the neighborhood, and I'm dying here because I did never been in a fight. I don't know how to throw punches or anything. I know how to scream and run away and curl up.
Play dead.
Yeah. And like wet myself. That's all of my weapons.
Defense mechanisms.
Yeah. And so I was like, I remember my heart was pounding driving near his house, because like I didn't know I could summon the strength to say, how do you? And this kid say he's going to stab me and kill me, and all
you
that.
have to confront them though, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I figured that he was going to kick the crap out of me immediately. So I'll leave the car blocks away so he doesn't trash it because my dad's car.
Perfect.
Or whatever. So
good thinking.
Yeah. So I did that. That's a good.
Know thyself.
Yeah, I did. So I did. I left the car blocks away. And I walked over and I see him standing in his yard. He's like looking around, looking somewhere or whatever. And I said, hey. And he said, yeah. And I said, how about now? Because he said he wanted to fight, whatever, kill me. And he said, what? And I said, how about now? Why don't we fight right now?
Jesus.
Whatever. Meanwhile, Jay, had he like blown at me, I would have just anything. So he suddenly says, "Oh, I can't. My mom's in the house, and I can't do it." He folded. He folded everything he said. He totally folded, and he said, "Oh no, I know you didn't do. I'm sorry. I didn't." He was apologizing, and he totally folded. And oh my God! I ended up shaking his hand before I left.
Oh,
I know I shouldn't have, but I was like, I couldn't believe it went so well. I couldn't believe. I expected to be taking out my teeth and like, or to be in the emergency room with a butcher knife in my heart. And he totally folded. I can't believe it. It's a good lesson, though.
That's good courage, though. That's a lot of courage to do that. Oh,
Jesus. I don't know. I was certainly scared to death, but it does tell you that people don't expect, it was a good lesson for you being able to bark at somebody.
Oh, yeah. That's a great story.
Yeah, and, of course, because everything is weird in life, he's found me and friended me on Facebook.
Is that right?
Yeah, this guy.
Wow.
It's like probably a real nice guy.
That's funny.
So that was... Then maybe that was the most scared ever, where I thought, "Oh, this is terrible."
Yeah,
terrible.
That's great though that you faced it though. That's amazing.
Yes.
Really.
All right. What else you got? Anything?
Yeah, I guess
make one up if not.
No, I got one. This was I think it was around 89 or 90 in Florida, West Palm Beach, Florida. Mm-hmm. A friend and I, Dennis Cornbread, we're in our little apartment that we rented in.
In comes Hurricane Andrew.
Yeah, no, we're in an apartment in a crack neighborhood, and next thing you know, a woman comes flying through the door and runs into our bathroom. Like, yelling and screaming. What the heck?
What?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we close the door. Like, what's going on? The next thing you know, some guy is banging on the door, and he puts his foot through our door.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and he comes in, and we put him out. We actually bring it outside. And he breaks a broom handle.
Wait, what do you mean you bring it outside?
Well, I guess we opened the door before he came into the house, right. And then we were outside defending our house, I guess.
Yes.
And he broke a broomstick in half.
Yeah.
And placed the sharp end right at my throat. You swearing and about this girl, I don't know.
Jesus, how'd you let it get that far? There were two of you.
I know, exactly. But he was on something really bad or whatever. But anyway, we took him down, and that was it. But
whoa, hold on.
That
tough
last
guy.
part.
What did we do?
Last part.
What did we do?
It just sort of resolved itself.
What did we do? We took him down.
Yeah, that's the only part that
suspect down.
One part of that story is incorrect, but most of it, all of the rest was correct. Nothing. He just went away, and that's it. But so that's yep. Good stuff.
You took him down by letting him hogtie you guys and ransack the place and steal all your stuff.
Let's just say we diffused the situation.
Jesus.
You know? No, I have a few things like that. It's I dove off a 50-foot cliff once.
Why?
I know, and
Jesus.
I did it twice.
Why?
I was so scared the first time. I wanted to do it again.
Is this into water or bungee jumping?
No, into water, actually. Straight in.
Or onto the ground?
Not straight in, but, straight up in, feet first.
Yeah.
In Ottawa River, up in, that was many years ago.
Oh, I don't like that.
That's scary. Falling off the back of a whitewater raft on Class 5 rapids. That's pretty scary.
Yeah. Being
without a helmet.
Discombobulated underwater,
exactly.
moving around.
Thinking
and you hear that
of
the it sounds like an ultrasound actually.
It does, yeah.
Of that can be jarring. That is no good. Yeah.
Indeed.
I don't like that. Now I have one that you'll probably share with me and this used to be worse for me in my 20s, but now I still get it. There are about 23 times per 3-hour flight that I assume the plane's crashing.
I agree with you with that.
When the bottom falls out, kind of, and you
geez.
can feel like it. No, we should be lifting fine.
Exactly.
And it's a little weak or something.
Different noises.
Yeah.
I was on a flight once, and I thought that was the end, where the plane dove from 40,000 to 20,000 square feet in like a matter of seconds.
Really?
It had to because it lost cabin pressure, but they didn't tell us that while it was happening. So all we knew is that we were going down. Because there was nothing.
It's hard to talk into the microphone when you're panicking. And the intercom.
I don't think they were. They were just doing.
Maybe they were.
Yeah.
Jesus
you're right.
Christ, no.
Oh man.
Let's see what else is there. I did have. I think I told you before. I did have. This is a crazy story. I mean, it's tough to tell, but I told you about the. In Chinatown, we chewed and screwed. Me, Keith, and me.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
we chewed and screwed. And
at a Bronx, you shouldn't have. That's a place that you should have never been.
We're having cold tea. It was. I miss cold. This tastes like cold tea.
So that's
we don't have to mention the place.
More famously named Combat Zone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's a place you go in a Chinese restaurant. You go in and order cold tea after hours, and they give you beer.
Yeah.
In the tea thing. I went with your wife, as a matter of fact. You'll remember that. I got in trouble for that from you. So that
why? I don't know.
So this is so this time I went and I ran out of the place. We chewed and screwed. It was 20, whatever. It was stupid. I didn't have to chew and screw, but I was just so thrilled at like fun situations. And a waiter comes running out. You steal from me? He was like angry as he was so adamant and serious and to the death. This guy, Chinese restaurant waiter. That he was like, I'd never dealt with somebody who was that into something.
Their fast language also makes it sound worse.
He was rip-bleep at me, and then we ran past a prostitute, and she jumped in and called me an SOB, and she's running after me too, and I got a block on them both.
Yeah,
and she's calling me whatever. I don't know why she's on it, and then this cop comes in. There's this beat cop, if he was really a cop. Anyway, so I got 3 of them. The cop does his own thing. The prostitute and the guy. I know where you are. I'm going to find you. It didn't sound like that, but I'm afraid to say what it sounded like. And she's like, saying, "You son of a bitch!" And she's like mad at me too. And I ran. I hid under like in a parking lot in Chinatown, like a Wagoneer or something, a Jeep. And I'm under it. And I also had moccasins on. It's like, this is not the kind of footwear that you need to be happy. But I'm dying. And I was, if you're not used to sprinting and you just all out sprint for your life,
especially under duress like that.
Yeah, you're not pacing yourself. So I was dying. So I could hear them yelling for me, walking, coming close. I can hear feet like close, like I'm. Jesus God, that's when I was scared to death.
Oh my God.
So then I eventually, I don't see anybody, but this dude is his dude's senses are better than mine. So eventually I scoot out from under the car, I start walking, I get half a block, and suddenly he's out of nowhere. Wow. I got you son of a bitch! So he got me, and then the hooker came over, and then she grabbed me too, and she's like yelling at me, and I was like, at this point I could tell that they weren't going to kill me. The guy did rip off my watch and put it in his pocket, but that they weren't going to kill me, and it was just, at this point it was just funny. Because they're bringing me back to the Chinese restaurant to see the Godfather or whatever. He's yelling at me, "You stole from me! You stole from me!" And she's like, "You son of a bitch!" And she's like a really gaudy prostitute. She's
why
like
is she
Jamie Lee
involved?
Curtis, and I don't know why. Maybe they take care of her. Maybe she gets clients there. I have no idea. Yeah. And then this cop starts calling me a SOB, whatever, and he's saying, you're busting your ass downtown. And he's doing every cop tough guy move, and I barely. If he was a cop, nobody liked him in that police department. And then, of course, I said, "Oh, I have a friend who's a Boston police officer," and he said, "Yeah, who?" And of course, I couldn't think of it. Right then.
Shit!
Yeah, I know. So anyway, they brought me in back, and then this guy in a white suit, this Chinese guy in a white suit, sat me down and said, "Why did you steal from me?" And he had my wallet, he had everything, and he was like, "This is like the guy who kills you, or he orders your shot." I was so thrilled with the place, and I was so thrilled with what was happening with this hooker and this other guy. And nobody's gonna kill me. The place is packed, Nobody's gonna kill. I was certainly embarrassed in front of everybody because they perp walk you right through.
Wow.
And
that's unbelievable.
It was unbelievable. But I had a friend with me. He went one way, I went the other. So he made it. He made it.
Yeah.
So then he sits me down, this guy in the back room, and there's another guy with a tux on looking at me all pissed off. This is out of a movie. It's awesome. And he said, "So why would you're Tom Shattuck, you're from Winchester, Mass. Why would somebody like you seem to be clean cut, why would you," but with an accent, by the way, "why would you have to do something like this? Why would you do that to me and to this place?" And
Jesus.
And the guy was intimidating, but it was so out of Hollywood that I was like, I was just excited, just the same way I'm excited about being at work, even though we're all about to be fired.
I get you. Yeah.
So
that's
eventually, he said, "I could call the police and have you arrested right now." He said, "Take your wallet, go across the street, get money out, bring it back here, and pay us 20 over or whatever the tab." And he said, "I'll let you go." So it's funny. He gives me my bank card. He keeps my license for the time being. And I go walk across the street. Right then, of course, I'm walking across the street towards the bank machine. My friend pulls up in his pickup truck. Get in!
No.
As if he didn't know that I already been through everything. I said, "No, don't worry about it. Just pull over." Yeah. They're all. So I gave the money, but it was
like a movie.
It was like a movie. It was awesome. It was awesome. And then I went back several times because the waiter had taken my watch for revenge. And I had it out with him subsequently. I had gone up there, even over the course of a couple of years. Yeah, he still took it to say.
Yeah, because that watch is. I remember. Is that what was the significance of that watch?
Again? It was sentimental because it was my dad. Did I say this on this podcast?
No. Okay, but we talked about.
My dad had given me the watch, and it was made of. It was not a wholly expensive watch, but it was just kind of. It was. My dad had given me the watch anyway, so I think I told my dad the story of how I lost it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was
That's
not
my boy.
Yeah, he was. He
That's
said
unbelievable.
Something. Yeah, but so there's another time. There was another time also when I did a roller.
Did you say that you saw him years later or something?
Yeah, I did.
The guy who took your watch.
Yeah, I confronted him.
Oh, you did?
Over a year later, maybe 2 years. Maybe
he did. What did he say?
No, he said he didn't. No, I don't have a whole watch. I don't have another. Yeah, he was like,
you knew who he was.
Oh yeah. I would know who he was now. Son of a bitch. I know he's got that watch on.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
But I rode a ride called the Schlitterbahn in New Braunfels, Texas. It's a huge. You get in this long, tall sled deal. These are everywhere now, and it's way high, and it goes in the water, and you skip across water.
Oh, sure.
So there was a time where I thought, I don't have what it takes to move this thing forward. I am effing. I don't like heights. I don't know about you.
Yeah, same.
I don't like that crap. Yeah. But so they just kind of push you, and you do it anyway, and it's like you just end up totally just water up the nose, blur, and then eventually you bob up and away, you're alive. Ideally.
And thanks. Yeah.
So the point was this whole thing in Korea, the whole thing from Korea, most likely, incoming missiles in Hawaii. So what do you do? What if you can know? What if they say it's coming in 10 seconds? What do you do? I mean, do you go to the window and do one of these and get irradiated and so that you're frozen there or something?
10 seconds.
Yeah, but you said you're going to be with a family. How lame is that?
No, I'm sorry, man, but 10 seconds, yeah. If I'm fortunate to be around them and I can get to them within 10 seconds, that's where I'm going.
Is there a secret that you might tell that you could let us know right now instead? Do you have
I
any
don't
secret?
think so, no.
Something about yourself that nobody else knows.
Nobody? I don't think I have.
Other people can know, but that...
Well, and one listener can know?
Yeah.
No, I don't think I have anything. Plus, if I did, I'd probably want to keep it a secret, wouldn't you think?
No, come on. Think of something.
No, I don't think so. My goodness. How about you then? I asked you.
Have you stolen something that you've never told anybody before?
Well, I did get arrested a long time ago.
You
for
did?
A stupid mistake I made
Jeez,
in Florida. I
cracked easy.
I know it was.
Jesus.
I just took a
Cadillac
a Milky Way bar
from a child.
from Piggly Wiggly. Close though. All those were close.
And this
Cadillac from a child.
This is while you were hanging out with Cornbread.
It was with Dennis Cornbread. Yes, I was arrested promptly and brought to the jail where I had to do community service, cleaning the beach. So that was fun.
What was this? How old were you?
17, 18,
17,
17.
18. There's a difference there because if it's 18, then we can make a project out of finding.
Oh yeah, I must have been over 18 because, but it definitely wasn't in my 20s.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you needed under 18. I would need someone else to help me out in that situation.
So you're a convicted felon. That's what you're saying.
Well, no, petty.
Well, convicted felon.
No,
convicted. Felon.
And
this has to do exactly. I assume this is tied in with the truth about the guy with the broomstick. Then he used a broomstick on you.
I had no money. We had no money. We were able to buy off-brand mac and cheese, 25-cent can of tomato sauces, and a bottle of gin with the key lime tree we had in our backyard.
Really?
That's all we really had.
Interesting. Did you ever grave rob?
Negative.
You sure?
You must have then.
Did you ever steal a plane?
Just maybe the wooden balsa ones.
Oh, is that a tool that men use?
No. What about you, sir?
Did you ever? I baked a cake with X-Lax in it and gave it to my French class. I did.
You did really?
Yeah, I did. We did. We loaded it up with X-Lax.
Did it work?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can tell you that we certainly probably was not a smart thing to do, but we loaded that baby up.
Well, I did that to you. I made you one of my Velveeta concoctions.
Hey, that's all you put in it, right?
I put tons of X-Lax.
How bad did this get?
Didn't do anything. Didn't do a damn thing. So I had to just tell you that I did it.
I did in a minor, very tiny way, piss in a gin and tonic I made you. But that was
Jesus.
That was it. That's
disgusting. Yeah, we don't need to disclose any more of this.
Oh, is that enough? All right. On Twitter at Shoulda Did More. You can find us on Instagram. I Shoulda Did More Reading. You can find us on Facebook. Jay's going to update that at some day. A website at shoulda-did-more-reading.com. Email shoulda-did-more-reading@gmail.com. What is going on here? I gotta go to the store. By the way, I got blocked on Twitter by John Cusack.
Really? Why?
From Chicago. I don't know, man. I don't know.
You were on with him to begin with?
No, that's not really how it works. Other people are asking me that. No, but he just found me, saw me, checked me out, and decided that he wanted to block himself from me.
That's great.
Go to iTunes and subscribe to our goddamn podcast, please. It's I should have did more reading or something there. You can find it as should have did more reading.com. YouTube as well. That we need you to really subscribe to that. And Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn. We're gonna postpone the Get Lean in 18 challenge because Jay wants to. He's afraid that he's gained weight. And then
football playoffs.
And then, the football playoffs, the New England Patriots, don't say anything good about them, Jay. Everybody
I'm afraid that this contest is going to be too much for them.
I think you might be right.
I don't want to be right, but I just think that's going to be the case.
That could be the case. That'll be good for another part of the country,
It feels like, for Jacksonville, this is their Super Bowl. I think if they beat...
They're certainly cocky, man. Oh, I know. Certainly. Have you ever been to Jacksonville?
I haven't, but I looked at pictures and
stuff. Is that
the
place where you stole from and got arrested?
No, that was
and they had the broomstick
West Palm Beach.
that the guy used on you?